If you've been stressing about exactly how much to set aside for your trip to Spain or Portugal, you are definitely not alone. Honestly, even after all our years of traveling, we still rack our brains trying to estimate costs for our next getaway. It is the most common question we get here on the channel, and the answer is always it depends. That's why today we're skipping the generic one-size-fits-all numbers. Instead, we're going to walk you through a simple strategy to calculate your own expenses. We look at real-world costs for food, accommodation and transport so you can build a budget that matches your personal travel style. Hola, ¿qué tal? Welcome to a channel made by humans where we want you to be happier traveling through Spain and Portugal with the help of our self-guided walking tours and also for the guidance we give to channel members in the commentary box below. If you want to join the channel, have a look at the button here under the video. To say that how much will I spend is a tricky question is the understatement of the century. We've seen all those videos where creators throw out exact numbers with total confidence. But let's be honest, we do not have a crystal ball for your specific trip. There are just too many moving parts to promise absolute certainty. However, by the end of this video, you will not need a crystal ball, you will have a strategy. We are going to equip you with the tools to build a budget that is accurate for you. To do that, we first need to look at the big variables that change the math, and then we will break down the major spending buckets where your money is actually going to go. Most of your spending is going to fall into 5 major buckets. How much each one weighs in your final budget really depends on your style. First and most obviously, there is the cost of getting to the Iberian Peninsula. For most of you, this means international flights. Once you land, you have the cost of transportation, both getting between cities and moving around inside them. Accommodation is usually your biggest fixed cost, basically the price of having a roof over your head each night. And food and drink is the fun part. Your spending here can swing wildly depending on whether you prefer sit-down dinners, supermarket snacks, or fine dining. Experiences are the entrance fees for monuments, museums, and guided tours. These costs can add up, but let's be honest, they are usually the reason you came in the first place. And finally, there is the mixed bag. This covers the boring but critical stuff like travel insurance and SIM cards to stay connected, plus the fun stuff, shopping and souvenirs to bring a smile to someone back home. Each of these categories can take a bigger or smaller slice of the pie depending on your plans, but together they cover nearly every euro you will spend. So let's break them down one by one to see what the real numbers look like. Alright, let's dive into the numbers, starting with a big ticket item, getting here. We cannot give you a set price for this because obviously a flight from New York is going to cost a lot differently than one from Auckland or London. However, this is the first number you need to nail down. Treat this as your budget anchor. Once your flight lands, your very first international cost is getting from your arrival spot, whether it's the airport, a train station or a cruise terminal, straight to your accommodation. This is where budget variability really starts. For example, you might spend as little as 125 euros taking the train from Barcelona airport, or as much as 33 euros for a fixed rate taxi straight to your hotel in Madrid. So here's your calculation task. Don't just budget for the trip to your hotel, remember to add the cost of the trip back to the airport the day you leave. To get the most accurate price for your specific city, be sure to check out our dedicated transportation guides for Madrid, Barcelona, Lisbon and Porto airports. And yes, we also have videos covering the cruise terminals in Barcelona and Lisbon. Choose your method, double the estimated price for the round trip and drop that number into your spreadsheet. Quick reminder, you don't need to be scribbling down notes right now. Every link we mention in the video is collected for you right down in the first comment below the video. Getting around cities is pretty straightforward and affordable thanks to all the public transport options available. Whether it's buses, metros or other local services, they will get you where you want to go. And if you want something faster or a bit more comfortable, taxis and ride-sharing apps are there for you too. We've also put together videos that explain how public transportation works in Barcelona, Madrid, Lisbon and Porto. Plus, our local city guides share helpful tips on getting around so you are covered wherever you go. And if saving money is a priority for you, definitely check out those guides. You will find plenty of clever ways to save on public transportation, from special tickets to discount passes and more. For budgeting, you are looking at two main calculation methods. If you stick to public transport, buses, metros, a single ride usually costs between 1 and 2 euros. The best budgeting hack is to purchase a multi-trip pass or a day pass, which can dramatically lower your per ride cost. If you plan to rely on taxis or ride-sharing services like Uber, budget between 5 and 12 euros for a standard short trip across the city. Just be aware that ride-sharing services like Uber and Bolt are often considerably cheaper in Portugal than they are in Spain. The easiest way to calculate this is to set a daily allowance for local movement. For a comfortable budget traveler, 4 to 8 euros per day should cover a few rides. If you plan on taking taxis frequently, allocate 15 to 25 euros daily. Now, if your trip includes more than one city, which most people visiting Spain and Portugal end up doing, you will want to think about intercity transport. Your go-to options here are usually planes, trains, buses, and rental cars. High-speed rail is our personal favorite whenever there's a line going where you want to be. But for budgeting, this is the most critical lesson. Pricing is hyper-dynamic. You could snag a promotional high-speed ticket from Madrid to Barcelona for as little as 9 euros if you book months in advance. But if you try to buy that same ticket a few days before your trip, the price can easily jump to over 100. The calculation here is simple: book early or budget high. Good news, you will find plenty of videos here on the channel all about the high-speed train system, packed with tips to help you get the most out of it and find those cheap fares. Choose your main method, put that estimated cost in your spreadsheet, and let's move on. The other options offer more price stability. Buses are the obvious budget choice. They take longer, but tickets are often a reliable 20 to 40 euros per segment, making them great for fixed budgeting. Then there's a rental car. This offers incredible freedom, but your budgeting needs to account for hidden costs. Don't just budget for the rental fee. You must factor in daily city parking, which can be 15 to 30 euros per night, fuel and tolls. So make sure you factor that expense into your daily car budget. If you decide to go this route, we highly recommend checking out our full video guide on renting cars in Spain and Portugal. It will save you money and headaches. Alright, so to quickly wrap up this transportation section, here's your final calculation checklist. You need 4 specific numbers locked into your spreadsheet: the total cost of your international flights, the round-trip airport transfer fee, your estimated daily city transport allowance, and the total cost of all your intercity travel. Nail down these 4 figures and you've conquered one of the biggest variables in your entire trip budget. Now let's tackle accommodation. This is going to be the second anchor of your budget, another large fixed cost you will have. Unlike food, where one day you can decide to grab a cheap sandwich if you want to save some money, your hotel cost is locked in. To calculate this accurately, you first need to be honest with you about what kind of traveler you are. In Spain and Portugal, the price gap between a clean place to sleep and a luxury experience is massive. So let's define some tiers to help you plug the right numbers into your spreadsheet. For calculation purposes, we can break this down into 3 categories. If you are a value traveler looking for private rooms in guest houses or 2-star hotels, you should budget anything between 60 to 90 euros per night per room. If you are a comfort traveler looking for solid 3 to 4-star hotels, bump that number up to 100 to 180 per night. And if you want luxury, staying in historic paradores or 5-star hotels, start your calculation at 200 per night and go up from there. Keep in mind these are prices per room, not per person. When you are doing your math, you need to apply a location variable. A hotel in downtown Barcelona or Lisbon is going to cost significantly more than a similar hotel in Setúbal or Zaragoza, or the smaller villages. If your itinerary is heavy on the capital cities, take the numbers I just gave you and add 20 to 30%. Conversely, if you are road tripping through the interior of Spain or Portugal, you can likely subtract that same amount. Don't just copy-paste one rate for the whole trip. Adjust it city by city. To get the most accurate number possible right now, don't just guess, do a mock booking. Go to booking.com, put in your actual dates and filter by a rating of 8 or higher. Look at the first 5 results that appeal to you and average that price. Do this for one weekend night and one weekday night. This takes 5 minutes, but it will give you a number that is based on real market rates for your specific dates rather than just a general estimate. Finally, there are 2 small line items to add to your accommodation total so you aren't blindsided. First, check if your hotel rate includes breakfast. We will talk about it in the food section. And second, add a line for tourist taxes. Most major cities in both Spain and Portugal charge a nightly fee that is often payable upon arrival, usually between 2 and 5 euros per person. It seems small, but over a 10-day trip for a couple, that's an extra 100 euros you need to account for. In the specific case of booking.com, the value of those taxes is included in the total amount you will be shown. Let's talk about food now. Budgeting for meals while traveling can be a bit tricky because everyone's eating habits and preferences are different. But to get to a good estimate, you will want to think about the basics: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and don't forget those in-between snacks, coffees, ice creams that often sneak into the day. But first, take a deep breath, because I have some great news. Your food budget in Spain and Portugal is going to go a lot further than in places like France, the UK or the US. You don't need to survive on grocery store sandwiches to save money here, unless you want to, because a cured ham sandwich is incredible. But generally speaking, food is one of the biggest joys of this region and it's surprisingly affordable. For a comfortable mid-range trip where you sit down for meals and have a few drinks, you can safely budget about 50 to 60 euros per person per day. If you're a budget-savvy traveler, you can easily pull this off for 35, and if you plan on fine dining, the sky is the limit. But let's break down exactly how to spend that money. For breakfast, skip the hotel buffet unless it's included for free. Hotel breakfasts can cost 15 to 20 euros per person, which is honestly a crime when you consider the local alternative. In both countries, a standard breakfast is a coffee and a pastry or toast. In Portugal, an espresso and a pastel de nata will rarely cost you more than 250 euros in total. In Spain, a café con leche and a pan con tomate is usually under 4 or 5 euros. If you budget just 5 euros for breakfast, you are already winning the day. If you want to add a freshly squeezed orange juice to your breakfast, add 3 or more euros at least. And speaking of buying a coffee to fuel up, we need a quick break ourselves. The perfect moment for us to grab a quick coffee, and a huge cheers to the amazing friends of the channel who have treated us to one. If you would like to say thanks or just ensure we stay caffeinated for the next video, you will find the link right down below the video. Thanks so much. And now let's get back to the budget and look at the lunch plan. For lunch, budget between 15 and 25 euros for a very decent meal at a restaurant. In Spain, look for the menú del día, and in Portugal, ask for the prato do dia. These are fixed price lunch specials, usually written on a chalkboard outside. In the case of Spain, the menú del día includes a starter, a main course, bread, a drink, often including wine, and dessert or coffee. Speaking of dinner, this is where the math gets a little tricky. In Spain, you'll likely be eating tapas or pinchos, and in Portugal, petiscos. These are small plates, and while they look cheap individually, 4 euros here, 6 euros there, they add up fast if you aren't paying attention. A good rule of thumb for budgeting is that 3 to 4 tapas equals one full meal. If you budget 15 to 25 for your evening grazing, you will be well fed. But if a proper lunch meal is enough to keep you going, you might be able to survive on much less for dinner. And of course, don't forget snacks, coffees, ice creams, which add up throughout the day. An espresso coffee in Portugal will set you back around 1 euro, in Spain 1 euro and 50 cents. Here's the formula to put into your spreadsheet. If you want to eat well without stress, allocate 5 for breakfast, 20 for a solid lunch menu, and 20 for a tapa-style dinner. That brings you to 45. Then add a 10 to 15 fun buffer for that extra ice cream, the afternoon glass of wine, or the famous Portuguese bifana sandwich you will crave. That lands you right in that 50 to 60 euro range. That being said, if one satisfying meal per day is enough for you, like we mentioned earlier, you could get by spending less at dinner time, for sure. Let's talk about the fun stuff, the whole reason you booked this trip. This is your experiences budget, covering all those entrance fees for monuments, museums, and guided tours. Honestly, when we plan our own itineraries, this is the hardest budget to nail down because your spending is entirely dependent on your interest level. This category is the most flexible in your entire budget, but it is crucial to plan for the potential cost. If you are a vibe traveler who loves walking and soaking in the atmosphere, you could easily budget 5 to 10 euros a day for maybe a small local entry or museum. But if you are an attraction hunter, visiting 2 or 3 major attractions daily, like the Prado Museum and a flamenco show, you need to budget a safe 40 to 60 euros per person per day for this section alone. But hold that number, we have entire videos dedicated to analyzing the city attraction passes that can significantly reduce that daily cost, a must watch if you plan on visiting lots of museums. We're talking about passes like the excellent Lisbon card and the Barcelona card, which can save you money and time by bundling entry and sometimes even local transport. To calculate this accurately, you have to move from guessing to listing. Go through your itinerary city by city and create an actual list of the sites you must see, whether it's the Alhambra, the Sagrada Familia, or the Belém Tower. Then use our city guides to obtain the current up-to-date prices for those entry tickets. This step is non-negotiable, not just for budgeting, but because major attractions, hello Alhambra, hello Sagrada Familia, require you to pre-book tickets weeks ahead of time to guarantee your entry. Finally, you must budget for the unexpected extras. We call these the side quests, that incredible food tour you spontaneously sign up for, or the last-minute decision to take a day trip to Sintra or Toledo that you forgot to account for. These spontaneous, often unforgettable moments are priceless, but they come with a cost. Once you've tailed up your fixed list, we recommend adding a 15% experience buffer to that total. It ensures you have the freedom to say yes to adventure without immediately destroying your spreadsheet. We're down to the final bucket, the essentials and extras. These are the items that often get overlooked but make your trip run smoothly. First, let's talk about travel insurance. The cost changes totally based on where you live and your age, but it's a necessary fixed cost you will know before you even pack your bags. Once you pay that premium, you can relax knowing the critical stuff is covered. Next is connectivity. You need to budget for staying online, and ditching physical SIM cards for eSIMs is the modern, easy way to go. The great news is we can already save you some money here. We have secured discount codes for two excellent eSIM providers, Airalo and Olafly, which you will find linked below. Lock in that discounted price now, and that's one less variable to worry about. And finally, there is the most fun and unpredictable budget line, shopping and souvenirs. This is 100% up to your personal style. Whether you want to bring home a bottle of local olive oil, a beautiful tile, or just some small trinkets, don't rely on having change left over from the other categories. Set a specific dedicated budget for this, say 100 or 250 euros total, and try to stick to it. This final number is your pure fun money, and once you add it all up, your budget spreadsheet is officially complete. Alright, you made it. Now for the most satisfying step, it's time to take all those numbers and plug them into your spreadsheet. When you see your final budget figure, you will know exactly what to expect. As a final checklist, make sure you have accounted for these 5 key areas. Check the 4 crucial transportation figures: your international flights, the round-trip airport transfer, your daily local transport allowance, and the total cost of all intercity travel. Lock in the cost of your stays in every city, remembering to factor in those per person, per night city taxes. Budget not just for breakfast, lunch and dinner, but also for that essential daily allowance for coffee, snacks and ice creams. And tally up the total cost of all your must-see visits, and don't forget to add that crucial 15% buffer for spontaneous extras and tours. Finally, confirm the fixed costs of travel insurance and your eSIM connectivity alongside your dedicated fun money for shopping and souvenirs. And there you have it. By working through these categories, your personalized budget framework for Spain and Portugal is complete. You now know exactly what your trip will cost, which is the key to stress-free travel. But maybe you are looking at that final number and thinking, okay, now how do I bring that total down? We've got you covered there too. If saving money is your next goal, we have 2 essential videos you need to watch right now. Our deep dive on the absolute best ways to save money in Barcelona and the top tips for budgeting in Madrid. And before we sign off, if you truly want to experience Madrid, Barcelona, and other incredible Spanish destinations like a true local, let us be your guide. We designed our self-guided walking tours precisely so you can skip the clunky guidebooks and the crowded tour groups. They come packed with detailed itineraries, insider tips, and everything you need to discover the heart of each city. It's literally like having a local friend show you all the best hidden spots, the ones you will not find on a map. Give them a look and get ready to discover your new favorite corner of Spain. On the screen you will see now a collection of videos with essential tips for a perfect trip to the Iberian Peninsula. Plenty of useful information for a wonderful experience in our countries. We're waiting for you from now on those videos.